welcome to my season 2 of competing for Ifbb. I really like making these series. I think it's fun to show just a different perspective and the process. So I will take you along on my journey. That last video that you just saw was for me at 17 weeks out. We are now a week later and I've had some major changes in my plan and therefore some major changes in my diet. So I stepped off stage in 2024 in June, and I started trying to have our second baby, which I was able to fall pregnant about 6 months later, and we had Sophia in August of 2025, to which I was lucky enough to be able to train throughout my whole pregnancy decently well. I had some challenge in first trimester, as everyone does, but I was able to be somewhat consistent over my pregnancy, and then as well, right, and postnatally, I'm postnatal trained and certified for PT, so I was able to safely move, as soon as I could, and continue to build from there. I hired my coach Scott back when it was, January? So probably about 5 months postpartum, and started a serious build phase with him then until April, when we then decided to start prep. So I started prep at about 72.2, sometimes 72.8 kilos that week. It was quite variable. That was my starting weight, and I showed you my stats in that last, which was from last week. So I had some centimeters loss in the 4 weeks of the diet. My calories in the build phase were 3150, but the first initial cut, we went down to 2400. That's with me always having 160 grams of protein. I don't really share the carbs and fats because, to be honest, I'm never accurate with them. I try to be as accurate as I can, but sometimes my fats are 5 grams higher, sometimes lower. It just doesn't really matter. It's easier for me to just focus on the protein and the calories. But what seemed to happen was the first 2 weeks, I saw a 2 kilo drop, which was great. But over the next 2 weeks, I barely got a kilo off. So that's when we decided to change the plan. I asked Scott not to add cardio or steps to me yet. I'd rather slash my calories because I have 2 kids and life is busy. And although I can quite easily get 10K steps, I'm better off eating less than needing to do more right now. And he was cool with that. He dropped down my calories to about 2,000. And in just 1 week time, I've dropped 2 kilos, which is pretty insane. I will say I feel really hungry, and I think that sometimes people obsess over certain numbers when dieting. Someone might hear that I can diet on 2,000 and they'd say, oh my God, that's so much food. I'm so jealous. It's so easy for you. It is objectively not easy to diet, no matter how high someone's calories are or how low they are. I have clients whose maintenance is 1,500 calories, and when they diet on 1,100 calories, they're fine. They're petite people. It's not an issue. So just remember, a diet is a diet, no matter what the numbers are, because I need 2,600 to be at maintenance, so it's a significant cut. So I just always want to explain that, because I notice in clients, sometimes people obsess over the numbers, and it's such a subjective experience, but dieting is objectively hard and nothing changes that. What I love about doing this process and sharing this process is I really believe I am not a person who majors in the minors. I'm not a person who's a perfectionist. I'm a type B style human, and I operate just the best I can, but I am very consistent. And that is, I guess, what I want to show in this is I don't do things perfectly, but I show up every day. Sometimes it's 80%, sometimes it's 100%. I don't believe the rhetoric that we all need to be in that 1%ers extra type of mentality. I prioritize my nervous system and my mental health a lot more. And for that reason, I think I might share a different perspective in this journey because, I'm just a bit less overzealous about things that, we just can't control. I really believe that prep, I don't consider myself a physique athlete. I consider myself a performance athlete who enjoys the process of the physique sport, because it really is an opportunity to see what your potential is when you don't doubt yourself. when you don't get in your own way, when you do what you say you're going to do behind closed doors that other people aren't seeing. It's just such a powerful time for like self and self-confidence. And I was blown away with my last experience about it, and I'm really excited to be in it now. Although I will say the novelty of that first prep was definitely something else. Now it definitely does feel like some work. So yeah, I'm excited to share my journey because I do believe it's going to showcase things that aren't perfect, but things just like, what can happen when you keep your word, but also can be adaptable in emergency situations. Sounds like a contradiction, and it's a hard balance. I won't mess up my tracking. I will track everything to the gram. But if I can't get a machine at the gym, I'll change the order of my workouts. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about with the perfectionism. I'm not stressing over things that just don't matter, but at the same time, I'm not avoiding the very basic work that needs to be done to see the results. The one thing that Scott said that I really appreciate is that he said to me, he knows I'm not a bodybuilding robot. And I love that because I prioritize my family. I macro match, and he lets me flexible diet my calories, which I appreciate. I mean, I'm a nutritionist, so he knows that I obviously am educated in it, but he lets me just kind of pick my own foods. And that's important to me because with the family, it's nice that I can still have, like yesterday we had salmon, potatoes, and veg for dinner. And luckily my partner likes to eat healthy anyways. So the whole family was able to eat the same meal. And with my daughter Maya being almost 4, I do want to share meals at dinner when I can with her, just because I don't want her to notice kind of what's going on as much as I can. I don't think that my relationship to competing is toxic. I talk to my daughter about building muscle all the time, being strong. Women should be strong and capable. I talk about how eating protein helps us be strong and how carbohydrates, they help us with energy. Vegetables are great for our poos. Like, we talk all like that in our house. So she knows what foods are for and understands the importance of them. But I never, ever tell her that I'm dieting. I would never in my life tell my kids that I need to lose weight or that I want to lose weight or that I'm planning to. They have no idea that that's even a thought that women could have, and I'm making damn sure of it that they don't ever hear that language in this house. And so that's a bit of a contradiction being in this sport, but I don't know if I'll do it again. This might be my last comp, only because I do want to be mindful of when she gets a little bit older and wiser. But for now, I do think that as I do start to cut, she'll probably just notice my muscles, and maybe I can just talk about how much muscle I'm building, because that illusion is there. So I'm hoping she doesn't notice too much. I could do a whole topic on how I speak, like how I track, and my daughter knows it's about making sure I'm eating enough, and it's about making sure we're getting all of those important puzzle pieces, the fiber, the protein, the carbs. I use a scale to follow recipes, I don't do cup measurements anyways. So it's not like they see it as a dieting tool anyways. But yeah, other than family, I think my next most important part of prep is my nervous system. And so I really try to balance out what that looks like for me. Balancing out my nervous system doesn't mean saying no to my boxes that needs to be ticked. That's not it. It's actually probably thinking ahead more. It's making sure that I can tick the boxes when I have overly busy weeks, prepping ahead, even doing cardio weeks ahead if I need to, if I've got the space to, really trying to look out for my future self. And that's what I think balancing nervous system really is. I think when we're in the moment and stress is high and we want to say no to self-care practices, I actually think that perpetuates more stress later in the future. So to me, like, discipline is the biggest form of nervous system regulation that we can find. Yeah, it's really about thinking ahead. Anyways, that's my chat for today. I'll show you some training, about to go to the gym. Maybe we'll show some foods. But yes, I don't know how often I'll do these. I'll try to do them when I have space to, and you can see the process.
in my hand and a smile on my face. And we got a few more on the way. Got a couple more on the way. Got a couple more on the way. I can feel a good time coming. CD on and popping, yeah, I pull up when I'm summoned. Party never stopping, we gon' give them what they wanted. It's a line outside, let them in if they want it. Ayy, party people on the left side, come on. Party people on the right side. Man, it's kinda feeling like a fire in the building. We gon' tear it up as soon as we get inside. It's a jam, party going up to the end. Everybody pulling out the cam, and they feeling like the fam. And I'm feeling like the man. Everybody knows just who I am. It's a jam, party going up to the end. Everybody pulling out the cam, and they feeling like the fam. And I'm feeling like the man. Everybody knows just who I am. Too hype in the party. Too hype. Feeling like my birthday. I've been dancing all night with a bottle in my hand and a smile on my face. Big smile. And we got a few more on the way. Got a couple more on the way. Got a few more on the way. I feel incredible. Always put a good time on the pedestal. Only good energy in my vicinity. You feeling bad? I got the remedy and the revenue. Yeah, I got the potion.
I had a terrible night's sleep. Sophia is definitely in a regression. So she woke up at 11 for about 45 minutes. And then she woke up again at 3 and then was up at 5:30 to be up for the day. And it's been like that for a few days. Already on my second coffee and yeah, very tired today. Probably gonna get an energy drink, which I don't usually do. You see what I ate last night for dinner. So I'm still trying to do family dinners. And so I prioritize tracking that first in my day. I put what we're eating for dinner in and then I just work around that. I just want to quickly say what I'm eating right now at 2,000 calories. So last prep, I always did oats for the whole prep. But, other than weekends, I do eggs and English muffin. But my friend Anna, shout out Anna, gave me a protein pancake recipe that's so fucking good. And I already ate it all, so I couldn't show you. I have a picture. But yes, so that's what I'm having for breakfast. I also am buying that Veta protein pasta and having that at lunch. And I'm just having that with, I'm having 75 grams with 100 grams of like extra lean mince and veggies. And that's amazing. I cook it in soup stock. So like I don't even need any sauce with it. I just crack salt on it. And then I'm still having like a traditional just chicken breast, veg, and sweet potato as well. So, or sometimes rice, depending what I've tracked for. So that's kind of my daily eat so far. If I'm craving something sweet, that third chicken meal instead, I'm doing something like Cocoa Pops and protein powder just so that I get my protein in. I do that with water, not milk. I know, weird, but whey protein turns water into milk, if you didn't know. It's essentially the same thing as skim milk. And then I'll have like a crumpet with sugar-free maple syrup on it. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and that's been working really well. The only thing that really I'm changing is that variable of the afternoon snack, either a savory meal or I'm having that crumpet cereal type of snack. And that's been feeling really good. So I weighed in at a new low today at 67.5, which is exciting. I can't wait. I'm starting to see a little bit of definition. But last time that I was in prep, I feel like when I was like 63, 64 kilos, I felt really skinny fat, like I didn't have any definition yet. So I hope that I see definition at that weight this time, because that's a good indicator that I have built muscle. But here's to hoping. Anyways, that's it for me this week. I'm going to Sophia's napping. I'm finishing a check-in for a client, and then I'm going to get to the gym and do my last upper and 15-minute cardio session for the week, so that then I can go to the spa tomorrow and do a sauna and a cold plunge. And I don't do that on days that I train, of course, but it's just so nice to have that to look forward to on a Saturday. All right, chat soon.